right, let's return to that story. 5 men, 1 woman accused of killing 8 people in a suspected act of mob justice in Zandspruit appeared in the Roodepoort Magistrate's court. Police also going to be holding identity parades. More people could be arrested. Let's talk now about vigilante attacks. I'm joined once more by David Bruce, a researcher specialising in policing and public security. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's hope our line holds this time. What does it say about trust in the police if a community doesn't hand over a suspect to them, but rather decides to necklace them? What does that say? What is going on?
Two things. The one thing is that vigilantism in South Africa it's a long-standing problem. It was a feature of life in South Africa during the apartheid period, and it's been an ongoing problem in South Africa since in the democratic era. But if current information is to be believed, it would appear that vigilantism is, if anything, increasing. So statistics released by the SAPS over the last year indicate that as many as 1 in 7 homicides that are recorded by the police are related to acts of vigilantism. So to compare that with statistics issued by the police 10 years ago, they had a statistic that 1 in 20 murders were linked to acts of vigilantism. But now that's effectively, according to latest statistics, increased 3-fold. And so that shows that it's a chronic problem in South Africa.
All right, so in fact this is becoming worse and worse, and of course we all remember the public killing of gangster Rashad Stachy in 1996 in Cape Town. That was the PAGAD organisation. It was meant to be a community protection organisation, and so very quickly those lines of criminality become blurred. I'm hoping we're not losing you again. I just want to speak a little bit more, David, about the fact that police were in fact called to the site. Our understanding is that they were called to the site, but when they arrived, they had to do a very quick U-turn because they were being stoned. So what do police do in a situation like this? Can you hear us?
That is, in many ways reflects the fact that the policing system in South Africa has not effectively adapted to the realities of post-apartheid South Africa. So in many ways, since the police reform period of the late 1990s, we can see our policing system as having stagnated. And so, you know, there's in a place like Zandspruit, where there are specific crime issues and there's specific policing kind of challenges, there isn't really a meaningful there hasn't been a meaningful response by the police to the specific challenges that are faced by that kind of community.
So what is the police to do in a situation like this? You know, we heard that the police were called, but they did a quick U-turn when they ultimately arrived over an hour after being called because they were being stoned by the community. What role do the police play at a time like this to restore public trust? All right. Well, we still have that intermittent problem with our lines, but certainly we got a lot of very interesting information. Thank you very much to David Bruce, researcher specialising in policing and public security, and our apologies to him and also to you, our viewer, for the problem with that line.